Welcome students to another session in the series Digital Marketing. In today's session, we shall learn about Facebook and LinkedIn marketing. In the previous session on Facebook marketing, we had discussed about the algorithm which is used by Facebook. Today, we will take the discussion forward and would try to understand how the Facebook algorithm has undergone change over a period of time. So, EdgeRank as an algorithm was introduced in 2009, which was taken over by machine learning in the year 2011. After that, the Facebook again introduced changes and the focus was more on prioritization in 2018. In 2025, in the current period, we find that Facebook has undergone a lot of change, not only in the name of Facebook, but also in terms of the algorithm which it is now using, which is now more based on AI. If we look at the introduction of EdgeRank, students, we find that Facebook basically introduced this algorithm to determine the visibility of posts in users' news feeds. We also discussed that the post used by EdgeRank evaluated the same on factors like affinity score or the weight of the content and the time decay as a factor. When it shifted to machine learning in 2011, Facebook transitioned to a more complex algorithm which was based on lot of factors. Lakhs and lakhs of factors were incorporated to give a more personalized news feed to the users. Again, this prioritization feature was taken forward in the form of meaningful interactions that were more emphasized on in the next phase of change in Facebook algorithm, which was in 2018. And during that period, we find that the overall content shifted its emphasis from the basic prioritization to the interactions which were taking place between friends and family related to some public content. In the current period, not only we are now talking about Meta, but we are also talking about Facebook algorithm, which in the present time period relies very heavily on artificial intelligence. And this reliance on artificial intelligence in the algorithm is used not only to deliver the personalized content, but also is used to analyze the user behavior, the preference of the users, and to predict and rank the post in the news feed in a proper manner. If we look at some of the advancements which have come and which have taken place in the algorithm, we find that though EdgeRank is no longer used as such, the term EdgeRank is no longer used and the algorithm has seen multiple advancements, but it still remains very relevant in today's dynamic social media landscape. The core principles, which were based on the affinity score and the time decay and the rest of the factors, that is the content weight, they still form the foundation of the modern algorithm. The new algorithm actually reflects various developments, especially the ones which have been used, making use of AI driven technologies and AI driven systems in the recent times. If we look at some of the recent improvements in the algorithm and what it has really done to this platform, we would find that now the algorithm enables you to assign a relevance score to each post so that one can know how relevant and how important that post was. There is also a reel algorithm which is being used, which actually prioritizes the content with high engagement metrics. So, one can see the level of engagement that is able to build up with the help of those reels. There has been a limiting factor in terms of the reach of non-original content. So, now we find that the Facebook or the social networking site is focusing more on unique content or high quality posts rather than non-original or some content which will not be able to engage the users in a proper manner. There is also the rise of recommended content, where users are also generating their contents and they are also recommending contents along with the brand, along with the companies that are recommending searches, that are recommending contented, like this is what you would be interested in. So there is a lot of content which is being shared and a lot of content which is being recommended to the users. There is also a categorization of users' interest for ad targeting purposes, and not only these improvements have taken place, but also we find that there has been a continuous algorithm update, so that one can find more such changes and improvements coming up in future. When we talk about LinkedIn marketing and we see how this platform is different from Facebook and what it typically does, which probably is lacking in terms of Facebook, we find that this again is a social networking platform, but what sets it different from the Facebook as a social networking platform is that this platform is specially designed for professionals. Professionals who want to indulge into networking and career development activities. In 2025, in the current year, we find that, we look at the data, we find that LinkedIn has around 150 million users, which makes the country as the biggest user base for LinkedIn as a platform. Usually young professionals or people in the age bracket of usually 25 to 34 years, you would find they dominate the platform more and comprise almost 60% of the user base for LinkedIn. On the basis of these promising statistics, one can infer and one can come to this conclusion that LinkedIn probably attracts a lot of young and educated crowd and has a global spread, which makes it very conducive, which makes it really perfect for reaching out to diverse people coming from different professional domains. When we look at the specific uses of LinkedIn as to when this is going to interest a user as a social networking platform, we find that some of the benefits which attract users towards this platform is that enables you towards professional network. So when you connect with people from your own professional network on this particular platform, this is what you are aiming at, and therefore people have their profiles on LinkedIn because they want to connect with the like-minded people or people in the similar profession. This also helps you to look for jobs and recruitment, other than the content sharing, which can obviously be done on Facebook as well, but this is something which is more required for job search and recruitment purposes. This not only gives you an online presence which is more professional in nature, but you also stay informed because you are connecting with people from diverse backgrounds and diverse professionals. So they help you in keeping up to date with respect to the developments in the industry, the trends in the industry, what is going on, what is the key thing to know about, and therefore they can do better in their respective professional circles. We also find that when we talk about professional networking, and this is one critical aspect for which we find LinkedIn is often used, what actually we mean by this, what kind of a networking people are looking for in their own professional capacity. So we find that LinkedIn as a platform gives an opportunity to individuals to connect with others in the similar or in related fields. They develop a one-on-one relationship, and they also help in expanding their professional circle as a social circle, also their professional circle. When it comes to job search and recruitment, there are sometimes you find that LinkedIn provides you more opportunities and gives you that information for job openings, how you can apply for various positions, how you can connect with different kinds of recruiters, and therefore this is the second biggest reason why people want to have a LinkedIn presence. When it comes to content sharing, one can always argue that this kind of a content sharing is possible on other social media platforms as well. But when we are talking about content sharing on LinkedIn, we are basically referring to content sharing which is as professional as the person who is having a profile on LinkedIn. So, you have professional updates, you have articles or write-ups, or maybe people share their research, they indulge in lot of discussions and they participate in the forums and the groups and the communities which are of like nature in terms of their professional network, or they are a part of their professional group. This kind of online presence not only places an individual better as a professional, but also allows the users to highlight their own competencies, their own skills, their experience and accomplishment, and get that kind of satisfaction by sharing that information about self, the professional advancement and the professional way in which they have performed well at their respective organizations. And therefore, by sharing all this information, this gives you a more professional online presence, which probably is not similar to what one is going to have by having a Facebook profile. Not only you are, as I said, you are staying informed about the industry news and what is happening and what is the trend and how you can reap on the potential opportunities of that particular sector, but sometimes we find that LinkedIn also allows businesses to create some sort of a profile, share their own company information and connect with the potential customers and partners. So, it is not that only a user or only an individual has something to gain from having a LinkedIn presence, but also this helps businesses to create networks and partner with the other brands and other organizations and connect with potential customers for their products and services. When we talk about the objective and the working of LinkedIn in a more summarized manner, we say that ultimately all this professional networking or business networking or the professional online presence or this kind of a liaison which you find amongst people coming from different domains, this ultimately the overall objective is to provide the best possible experience to whosoever is having a profile on the platform. So, by default, when you talk about the profile or the feed that you come across on LinkedIn, you find that the feed is sorted by top updates. So, even on a daily basis, if you log into LinkedIn, you would find that there would be some top updates that are usually populated on the basis of a user's activity. So, if you are on that particular platform and you are posting something or you are sharing something, then top updates would regularly your LinkedIn feed will be sorted by what you have updated recently. A LinkedIn bot, because again this is something which is making lot of use of the recent sophisticated technologies, even the LinkedIn bot is going to put the content under different categories. There can be a spam category where one can look at some of the post by checking whether this is something which is poor on grammar, poor on content or poor on engagement metrics, and one can easily pass through that particular stage or avoid landing in the spam category by using good grammar, good vocabulary, good quality of the post, limited links that you would be having, and also limiting the frequency of when and how you post. The second category of content that LinkedIn puts or categorizes as is the low quality category. Again, one can pass through or avoid becoming a part of this low quality category by using certain hashtags, by using a combination of certain words, some which are new and therefore they would also be having a novelty factor and therefore is going to grab the attention very fast. LinkedIn also suggests that you mention some of the links only in the comment section, and you do not mention about those links in the post, and that is something that particular way actually helps you to avoid becoming a part of the low quality category of content. The clear category content, as is very clear from the name itself, is where the post is clear. So, it is having good quality, it is not a spam, or it would not be categorized as spam, and once the post is clear, now you can analyze the time when your followers are online. You can also avoid editing the post if you think that this is something which is going to weaken the subsequent engagement with the same. When you talk about LinkedIn, students, and when you talk about having your profile, or a company having its profile on a LinkedIn, the goal for each one of the party should be to have their content in a clear category, or if it is not possible or it is not happening some way, then at least have it in the low quality category, to make sure that your post or your feed or your profile is not ending up in the spam section. The user should not hide your content from their feed. So, it should be very transparent, it should be very, very open. At times we also see that the LinkedIn bot, it shows your content to a smaller audience. Sometimes you test it, just like in case of marketing, you go for test marketing, and therefore you show the content to a smaller audience or to a sample group of audience. And if you really were to pass this particular stage, LinkedIn again recommends you doing certain things, like you can keep in mind the interest of your personal connections, what is going to be appreciated and liked by them, what is going to tweak the interest of the audience base, what is going to come on the top when it comes to the relevance of that particular post to the interested audience, what could be the engagement metrics or the engagement probability of that particular post. So, by doing certain things, you can really make it to the clear category very soon. So, if we now look at the LinkedIn algorithm from the perspective of what we have just discussed, we have seen that in the first stage, the algorithm actually creates the content categories, where I have just explained that your content categories can be the spam category or low quality category or a clear cut category. Once your post has reached the clear category and it is clear to be be there on the platform, then the second part, at the second stage of the algorithm is going to test it with a smaller audience, so as to ensure that yes, it is really having a personalized connection, it is really connecting to the people who would be interested in reading or knowing more about it. So, the interest relevance factor would be very high and the engagement probability would be very high. Once the LinkedIn algorithm feels that this is the case and it is rated high, or it is rated quite positively on all these factors or all these aspects, then the content is shown to the mass audience, and once it is shown to the mass audience and it is there on your feed, then we say that it is now trending. Now, if your content passes through the testing session, as I said that the algorithm is designed in such a way that it is going to be shown to a smaller audience, and then on the basis of how well they receive it and how well they find the interest relevance to be, it will be shown to the mass audience. Now, these mass audience can also comprise of people who are outside your network, and then once it starts trending, then you can be sure that it is going to pick up very soon. In a way, we find, students, that this is more or less a continuous process, and the LinkedIn also indulges in lot of analytics. In fact, any firm that is using LinkedIn as a platform for business networking, or any individual user who is using LinkedIn for its professional presence, they can also analyze LinkedIn analytics to see how well their LinkedIn page or how well their LinkedIn profile or the feed that they are writing or the post that they are creating on LinkedIn is doing. by performing certain basic analytics like the page analytics, how many people visit your page, or how many people are following your page, what is the demographics of the followers who are coming to your page on a frequent basis. You can also check the visitor section in some of the cases. You can also check how many leads you are able to build on the basis of your profile being featured on LinkedIn, and this helps you to leverage on this social media platform. There can be certain tips, as I've said that LinkedIn also provides you certain recommendations, and LinkedIn also provides you certain ways where you can really work on your content and around your content to ensure that this is going to come when there would be the content categorization. This content will reach the clear content stage. At the same time, some of the general ideas or certain considerations with respect to content would also help the users or also help the firms that are looking forward to benefit from LinkedIn, like try to always post the relevant content along with the content which is going to be relevant, which is going to be of high quality, which is going to engage the users. Often it is seen that if you are having an image, if you are having a picture or an illustration, that helps you to get attention very fast. So if along with your post there is always a image supporting that, then it is going to get better attention. We also try and create a clear and captivating pitch and description. So what you write through the hashtags really interests the audience. What you write as the description in your post also has that kind of a power to captivate your audience. Most in demand content is the industry insights. Now this is where one has to really focus on. When we are talking about Facebook as a social media platform, the purpose is very different. When we are talking about LinkedIn, we have already seen that it is basically the professional network or a business network that somebody is looking forward to. So if the content has something to do with the industry, the content has something to do with the job, the content has something to do with what latest is going on and what is trending in the industry or in the professional circles, then probably this is going to be appreciated the most, because the platform is more about such people and is more for such people. The second aspect that one can focus on is to have personal connections, because the algorithm in the second stage is going to work through the personal connections, and therefore is going to look at the content from the point of view of how this is going to be interesting to others on the same platform, and how it going to help you in developing and nurturing your personal connections. So it is the engagement rate which has to be improved. Even if the businesses are using it for their own business networking, they have to ensure that the post should engage the user sufficiently and should entice the user sufficiently to be more interested in that particular organization or its services. You also have to time it well. Sometimes we find that it is the time of the post that can really make all the difference. We find that in case of professional people, the posts which are created by them have maximum reach during business hours, because they know that people would be looking or they would be following these kind of sites during the business hours. We also find that frequency has a role to play. So if you post at least 20 times per month, then you are doing it on a regular basis, and then there will be regular updates that you would be getting. One can also ensure to make your overview section clickable, because that is going to give you more click through rates. With this, students, we have seen more about how Facebook algorithm works and how LinkedIn works, how the algorithm helps and does something at the back end which helps the user to see and to assess the extent to which the post would be liked, and eventually can make use of lot of analytics in order to ensure that the post, once it is there on any of the platform, is really helping the user or the business in its desired objective. There is a lot of scope, as we have seen in case of digital marketing, to connect with people and to craft and formulate more focused strategies, given in mind what kind of target audience you are expecting on a particular platform. So for Facebook you have a different kind of an audience, on LinkedIn you have a different kind of an audience. So even a firm, even a digital marketer can then choose whether it would be more appropriate for it to have the post or have the links on Facebook or on LinkedIn as the platform, as the major platform. We also had seen initially in the beginning that user persona and segmentation on the basis of the user persona is the backbone of any digital marketing strategy, and we see again that particular thing coming into play at the time when you are choosing a particular social media platform and you are trying to gauge the extent to which that particular platform not only provides you an opportunity to link with the right kind of audience, but also to ensure that your post would be taken up well and your post would be appreciated and it would be liked. So all in all, we can say that if done and planned in a proper manner, any of these platforms can help a firm in the digital marketing space to be more visible and to connect more effectively with their target audience and target members. With this, students, we come to the end of the session, and next we'll talk about display advertising as one of the another effective ways to connect with people on the digital platforms. Thank you.